I had to wait for the weather because we have had some nasty crap move through, and it somewhat made our electric have some issues. So what we're going to be doing tonight is I'm going to be turning the back end of this coyote pelt. Hi, Jippy. How about you resting? I'm going to be turning the back end of this coyote pelt with a tail into a little fake coyote reindeer looking thing. And then I'm going to use the rest of the coyote. To, it's storming here. I'm going to use the rest of the coyote to make reindeer. So this one is not really cut in any way that I need it cut, doggone it, but we just gonna have to make do. So I'm gonna put it in this ginormous bag. I thought I had a bigger bag. I'm gonna put him in this bag so I can cut him in the bag so that the mess stays in the bag, because it's pouring and windy and nasty outside, and I certainly do not need that. The things I get myself into, all for crafting. Okay, and I'm going to try to use the cuter parts of this coyote. However, I realize that I will have to cut away some of the other parts that are not the best fur. So, y'all, here we go. There's no way I can do this without making a mess, which is why I'm cutting him in the bag. At this point, my house is just one big fur ball, so what does it matter? By the time I get to disinfect, pretty sure I'll have like animals hidden, growing somewhere, because I have so many pieces in here. So the good thing is at least his skin is extremely well tanned, so he's cutting very easily. So yay, Dave, thanks for that one. Okay, now let me pull all the excess hair back into the bag. This is always the icky part. Did anybody go and listen to Allegedly Innocent after I spoke about her live today? Y'all wonder how many times I change clothes today? I'm on my second outfit because I have to take everything off when I get hurry. So, okay, so what we have now is just the bottom with the coyote and the tail. So I'm going to wrap it around this, but I want the tail, I may wrap it around this. I want the tail to stay attached and to fall out behind it. And there's going to be more cutting involved. There's always more cutting involved. Because my house can't stay clean. And it would have to rain and pour and have 30-mile-per-hour winds on the day I wanted to do this. So it is what it is, y'all. But I'm down to the last few days of getting stuff done. And so the stuff that I want to take, I have to get processed. I have to get it made. Or I don't get to take it. So here I am with a dead coyote in the kitchen. Okay, that's going to wrap really cute and look like a little coyote butt. So I'm happy with that. doing some cross stitching. Well, I thought that for a little while I wasn't going to be able to come on because it started really howling and raining, and our electricity started having thoughts about not working. And I was like, are you serious, people? Are you serious? Hi, Rachel. So you stay safe. Hey, there's some nasty weather adling up your way. Priscilla, you stay safe. It's going to get possibly severe here later. Most likely, they think around midnight for us. So David will be coming home probably right in the thick of it. They're saying maybe some tornadoes even. I hate tornadoes. I've been in a few in my day. I've been in a few. I've had to hunker through a few, and it was not anything I enjoyed. And so I absolutely hate tornadoes. They terrify me. They're not anything I enjoy. And I was in one where I felt the house pop and lean, and I thought, well, here we go. And when it lifted, all it had taken was every window in the house and the little metallic lever on my barn door, of all things. 28th hour. They say it's going to chill up here for a couple days and then warm back up a little bit. So I'm just going to stay in the house through it until it makes its mind up and try to do my best to go Saturday with Dave. So it looks like Saturday is going to be too bad. And if I can travel with him, he does have an indoor spot. He paid a little bit more to have an indoor spot so that if I was able to go, I would be comfortable. So I'm hoping I get to go. I do not have a fire tonight. Number one, the wind would just puff it out every time it blew. But also because of whoever was playing games around my house last night and they were on my roof. Only two things that you can do on my roof is scare me or access my stovepipe. And so Lane is coming by tomorrow to check my stovepipe before I attempt to have another fire. Not because I am paranoid, just because I'm thorough, and that's something that while they were up, they could have placed something in, and the kind of stove that we have, it would fall down and hit a plate, which is held up above the Firestone, so I would not be able to access it without moving stuff. So he's going to look and just make sure, and then move the Firestone and make sure nothing falls down. So we don't trust people. Well, not people that get on the roof, at least. But it's been deathly quiet here. The cops were back at the neighbors again today. I don't know what's going on, but whatever it is must be very interesting and quite entertaining. Because the cops have been over there several times, and they were over there for about a half hour today. And the only reason I know is I had ordered some Merry Christmas signs made for the kids so that Haley's would have husband and wife and dogs on it, and Lane's would have husband and wife and the baby on it. And the lady delivered it while the cops were over there. I tried to be nosy and hear what they were talking about, but I couldn't hear. The wind was just way too bad. So they are patrolling extra around here, and I called in and told them thank you again tonight for that. And it's been quiet other than the storms and the wind. So makes me, since Moses, our outside dog, died, it makes me want to get another outside dog and get another bully or get another blue heeler cross, something that's very bonded to its owner, and surprise the crap out of these people that think they have the right to roam through neighborhoods and try to scare people. So we may be getting another big dog, and it may be one that is an inside dog for the most part, but goes out to patrol. We are fenced, so we can handle that. Okay, I've got this rat. It looks like just a furry mess with a tail right now. This is the actual coyote tail. So I'm going to do some extra securing around the bottom and the edge. Oh, and I also made Max from the Grinch with one antler for to go with the Grinch ornaments that I made. And I thought he turned out super cute, so I'll show him to you here in a minute. And I'm probably going to add felt to the bottom of his tail just to add an extra layer of protection so that whoever buys him, if they're a little rough with him, it won't kill him. You know, a lot of people expect fur to be this, you know, super rough and tolerate anything, and it does tolerate quite a bit. But, you know, if you have a kid that really wants to take it apart, they really can. You know, if they're industrious, they absolutely can take apart what I've put together. So we try to always affix them as solidly as we can. Well, I tell you what, that wind is just a howling. Coyotes were out bad this morning too. Coyotes were out horrible this morning hunting. And that was weird. They must have known the weather was fixing to get real bad. Now for his ears, I'm actually going to cut out squares and then felt the inside and use his actual hair for the ears. But first, I want to show you Max. If I could afford to feed a Neapolitan Mastiff, I would have one because I love him. Let me go show you my Max. One, two, three, four. I think I made 5 of these today. Yes. I made 5 reindeer today, including Max. Max isn't really a reindeer, but he's going to sell at the same price point. So here's Max with his nose and his little arms and his little toes and his little tail, because he's got the little stubby tail in the cartoon, and he's got pink under his ears, and he's got a nose and eyeballs, and he's got his antler on his head. I thought it was cute. Not gonna lie, I thought he was precious, and Max had the little stubby tail, so I put a little stubby tail up his back. I thought it was adorable. I'm smitten with this, and I hope somebody sees it and buys it, and it kind of takes them back to childhood. But I thought he was adorable. My husband said, "What the crap are you making?" I said, "Do you not remember the Grinch's dog, Max?" And he goes, "Oh." I think one thing, I wish I'd had a darker brown. I may paint that. I may paint that before we take him down. But I got his antler on, his eyes on. And I've got it tied with twine like in the movie. And his little ears and his little tail back here. Because he had the little stubby, almost like a little Catahoula stub tail. And so I think he's cute. He's even got little feet and little toes down here. And there's little... I thought he was so cute. So I got a little carried away with him, I know. But I'm going to put him in the middle and put all the Grinch ornaments around him. So that he's obviously the star of the show. But everybody can enjoy him. So now then, let's see what I can find here. Got me some black felt. I'm going to make me some ears. Well, I'm telling you what, it is blowing like you would not believe here right now. All of my wind chimes are on the ground, apparently, already. The cats have banished themselves to the warm house. They have a compartment in the roof they sleep in that is insulated, that David made them. And the warm house stays a consistent temperature, and that's where we have our canned stuff or jarred stuff. And so I know they're warm. But they pieced out early today. They didn't even eat all of their food. They didn't even eat all of their dinner. And they left on to put themselves to bed early, knowing, I guess, that this was on its way. And I would have been on earlier, but I had to wait for a friend, and then it started really howling, and I gave the weather a moment because I was afraid that it was going to take out my electricity. Our electricity has gone out twice in the last 2 days, so me and my electricity are not doing well. Anytime the wind blows on the mountain, we have so many pine trees, and anytime after it rains, they are just notorious to fall. And so we always have a lot of downed. Hi, China. We always have a lot of downed trees after these events. And we're really just soaked right now from a lot of rain. And so this is not a good thing. There'll be a lot of trees down all over the county in the morning, I'm sure. And they're saying even some tornadic weather coming through after midnight. So I've got David on guard to be super careful coming home tonight. And I'm just watching. Normally, if they get here, it's little spin ups, so that you still have to be careful and watch. Okay, so this is one ear made. I curled the hair over the edge, so that I'll curl it and attach it to his body. I'm gonna make the other one. And put them both on at the same time, and then put his eyes and nose on. I think people will like my little animals. They seem to be drawn to the fur used in cute, odd little ways. So I'm going to make this one coyote. It'll look like a little coyote pup. And then the rest of this coyote that I just cut on, I'm going to use the rest of it to make blonde reindeer. So it'll look like caribous. And they sold just as well as the brown ones, so I'm not worried about them selling. So that's what I'm going to be doing with the remainder of that coyote hide. So it will not waste. I will use everything except for the thin spot on the belly. The thin spot on the belly I will not be using, just because I want my hair, my fur to be consistent across my entire animal. So I'm going to be really picky and not use any of the thinner sections. When you're the trapper's wife, thunder. You can pick to use more fur. I might ought to go get a lot. If this stream ends abruptly, y'all know that it was due to my electricity going out. Didn't know you were going to get serenaded this evening, did you? Okay, seriously though, while I'm thinking of it, let me go get a lot. I have actually charged my big handheld lot. Okay. I'm good. In case the weather goes out, I'm now good. Okay, so now I've got his 2 ears. Get some of his hair off. And I'm going to affix his ears on the back of his noggin. I'm going to kind of curve them around the side. So I'm going to kind of split the fur to find the edge. I'm going to split the fur to kind of find the edge, the part right there, and I'm going to put my glue there. I'm making a pretty long bead, though I may need to make it longer. I'm going to cup it. I'm going to kind of center it, and I'll have to put more, but I've got the center attached. Oscar has realized it thundered, and now he's coming up here because when storms get really bad, I have to read a book to my dog in the dark to calm him down. Yep, my dog is rotten. Okay, now I'm going to curl the inside of the ear around and glue it. You put another glue stick in my dollop of glue. Bend that puppy around and hook it all together. It doesn't look too bad yet on the radar. It just looks like it's kind of stuck on the mountain for the moment. So it should kind of pitter-patter on through here soon. They hit the mountain and they're forced to drop all their rain and kind of all their viciousness before they can, climb on up and cross over. So we get some really grumpy storms this time of year. It's kind of like a secondary, look at that cute ear. It's kind of like a secondary severe season. So we're used to it. Sadly, I don't enjoy it, but we're used to it. Now the thing is going to be try to get them even. And that can be difficult to do because of the way that hair likes to turn on its own. But we will try to do our best. Get it in the middle first. Pull the hair up from the back. Pull the hair in from the front and pinch so that you've got 3 layers that are glued together. The more layers that are glued together, the better the fur holds. And then you go in. Hi, Shenanigans. Then you go in and add a little bit more glue so that you can curve the inside of the coyote's ear and pull that hair together to kind of put a curl on that ear. You want it to look realistic. Let me bend my thing up. You want it to look realistic. You too, Clara, honey. This weather is hard on everybody. This rain coming in has given me one of those days where it's just get through it and stay distracted. Yeah, I'm starting to feel better. If this weather will move on through, I'll be feeling a whole lot better. It ended up taking some antibiotics and stuff to get me squared away again. And it's just where my ears and stuff don't drain, and I had a lot of fluid on me, and I had a flare, and my body just needed a little bit of extra help. But I'm doing a lot better now. Okay, so I was actually able to get some longer hair over here. I probably will trim out the insides of his ears just so they show a little bit better, but there his ears are on. So now we're going to give him a face. Let's see, I think I still have some bigger noses. Yes, I have a big nose. Had a big nose. It's in the floor now. Where'd you go, nose? Well, let's see if we can find it. Oh, I was on my way to there. I had so much fluid in me. And it was starting to get stuck into my lungs as well. And so I just was like, hey, doc. I was like, I'm not going to play this game. I don't have the gumption to play this game. And so they put me on some antibiotics again. Okay. And I'm not going to put like an elongated snout or anything. Just because I want it to be more cute than authentic. Just for sale purposes, you know. So I'm going to put my dollop of glue in there for the nose. I'm going to stick the stick of the nose in there, and then I'm going to get behind it and pinch the hair up to behind the nose so that the hair glues to the nose and holds it still, but it still has hair around the nose. And there's his little nose. Is he not adorable? Now we're going to put his eyes on. Oh, you have a good night too, Shenanigans. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. I've been sporadic since my health has been kind of awkward, but I'm trying to get back on task now that I'm feeling a little bit better. So I'm sure we'll see each other again. I'm going to give him little eyes now. And I don't know if I'm going to try to give him a little tongue or, man, I don't know. I know it. Everything looks like Oscar, doesn't it? I thought this would be really cute for somebody that wanted a fur but didn't want a fur to hang on the wall, but wanted a fur to display in a cute way. It also makes educating the kids about fur a little less scary for them if they're younger. And it's also a cute way. You know, back in the day, teddy bears were straight up made from fur. And so this is kind of a nod to the past as well. And I really enjoy making these little personality-filled things. I mean, they're just so cute. They are just so cute. Gotta floof his hair up after I get his eyes on. Okay, I've got both his eyes on and his nose. He's very cute. I am going to give him kind of an ear haircut so his ears show a little bit better. just so people can see that he has ears. Something else for me to have to clean up, you know it. This coyote has some odd hair in spots and some odd patterning. It was a younger coyote, so it's got a very much a juvenile hide, so I just needed to clean that up just a hair. Okay. Very cute. Very cute. Very cute. I just think he's very cute. I'm going to try to straighten this ear up a little bit. Because that bothers me. Because I'm type A and that bothers me. So let's see what I can do to pull that ear up a little bit. Work from this side first. Up there. Okay, and then I work from this side second. And get him stuck up there. I want his ears more stuck on the top of his head, giving him that little inquisitive look that little baby yotes have. Baby yotes are very, very cute, but they're also, they get used a lot for cover by the big yotes. So if you ever see baby yotes, you're not alone. Be careful. It's a little better. He's just gonna have a weird ear. Isn't he precious though? So now I'm going to cover and put some felt on his bum and to cover his tail, just to give it a little bit more added stability, so that when people display him, it doesn't get pulled and wrenched. Although the cartilage in the skin is really tough, I want to put an extra safety there. I mean, it would just make me feel better just because. So I'm going to cut a strip of felt that's going to start at the base of the wood and then attach to the tail and go on down the tail and taper down the tail, because the tail is split. Because David splits the tails and gets everything out. So let me do this real quick. This is a really cute little idea, and I'm going to try to make some foxes like this next year when David gets some fox. And I'm going to try to get a couple of beaver done like this, but I will have to make the beaver tails out of felt and suede. I won't be able to use the real tail. Mostly because it will be too ginormous for the project, but also because that is just a lot of extra work to add to my poor husband that I just can't ask him to do. He works really hard and is covered up, and I hate to add work on top of him when he busts his butt every day. I stuck my finger in the glue. He made fun of me gluing myself last night, but I'll tell you what, I had 2 blisters by the time I went to bed. It was bad. They're just red spots now, but boy, it hurt. He thought that was the funniest thing he'd ever seen. He likes to make fun of me. We like to make fun of each other. I think that's why our marriage works. We don't take each other too awful serious, and we absolutely love to irritate the crap out of each other. So I think that is one reason why our marriage has lasted for 20 years, is we each know that at the end of the day, we are the best laugh for the other. And we're not ashamed at all about that. We just really enjoy being silly and making each other laugh. Like, I begged David to do that lumberjack photo shoot where he's got on his overalls and he's doing the lumberjack poses and holding his chainsaw like it's a baby. I begged him for months to do that, and he finally did it. And when I say he did it, he committed. He did. He put on a show. That was the best photo session. Okay, so all I did was start a strip and put it down the tail. And so that just offers a little bit more security. And it makes me feel a little bit better since it is my art that's going out. So and David ended up making like 14 or 15 gnomes yesterday. He put beards on all of them and got really into it and was like, yeah, this does take a lot. He's like, I'm sorry, I never thought about how much I was asking you to do. And I was like, yeah, it takes a lot. I was like, I don't mind doing it if I feel good. Now, if I don't feel good, I mind. But if I feel good, I don't mind at all. But I did tell him that I wanted a couple of gnome-free months in the year so that I was not constantly making gnomes. Now, somebody's going to take this and display it and pull its tail around it and sit it like this on a dresser or coffee table, however they want to display it. It is made out of real coyote fur and will be a great talking piece. And I'm sure somebody will fall in love with it because it is freaking adorable. I mean, it's cute. I put all the gnomes that I'd made in boxes, and now that I've done reindeer all day, I have reindeer all across the shelves in my living room staring at me. So now I've got all reindeer looking at me. Okay. So there he is. That's how he's going to look like. And he's probably going to be probably $35, $40. It'll be up to David. But since he's got the tail on and all that, he will have the price tag to go with it. So we'll have him for down there at that. A Furby Sasquatch. You want a simple one that looks just like a Furby Sasquatch? Email me at watersworkload@gmail.com. And after we get done with this big fur sale, I think David's got a couple of old beaver hides that they didn't tan as well as he wanted, and I'll have to piece it together, but I can probably piece you one and do a smaller piece of wood, and then put eyes on it and a nose and send it to you and let you finish it out however you think your Sasquatch needs to be finished out. I think my little coyote turned out cute, though. David's going to have to brush him again for me. He's going to have to brush him for me and kind of de-shed him for me. Because he's definitely got some hair that needs to come on out that I've wrestled and aggravated and pulled out. So he'll use that shedding tool and finish him on up. And then he will be ready for his new home. I always like to see the people that get these, they adopt them. I tell them they adopt them because, I've known all of these since they were harvested, so I get attached to them. And this little guy was a juvenile, and so I was wanting to do something really cute with it. And I think this was a good way for him to find a home and still be appreciated. But he's very cute. He's very cute. He's just sitting here and his little tail goes around him. I just think that's so cute. So for some reason, the animals I'm making are getting quite a bit of feedback. And y'all are the first people that saw Max. So y'all are the first people that saw Max. But the animals I'm making are getting quite the feedback. And I think I found the niche where I'm going to shine when I work with fur. And so for me, it's just trying to always learn how to put them together better. Yeah, I like making the little animals. I like doing the weird stuff. I've got to make some spirit sticks, some ceremonial sticks to go because we've been requested to have a couple of those there. But I just, I really wanted to get these done to take these because for some reason, I think these are going to kind of be the belle of the ball. And I'm looking forward to watching people shop for these and really enjoy what they find and kind of falling in love with them. That's what I hope anyway. I always want them to have good homes. David thinks I'm crazy, but I'm like, oh, I hope he gets a good home. David always thinks I'm nuts. But I really want my animals to have good homes. And boy, that wind is rearranging my porch again. It's bad here, y'all. That kind of pulled his ear up a little bit more. That's a little bit better. Oh, you have a good night too, Shenanigans. Just email me, watersworkload@gmail.com. And after we get back this weekend, because this week's such a rush with this event, after we get back, we can talk about doing a little small Sasquatch looking thing for you and getting it to you before Christmas. I'll know more about what I have to work with after this vendor sale, so that'll work out really well. What you doing, Udi? What you up to? What are you doing? What are you doing? What this? Can you speak? Speak. 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 Good boy. Good boy. Did you speak? Speak. Good boy. So you're an old man, aren't you? Are you an old man? Are you an old man? Oh my! Come here, fat boy. Oh. Oh, this is my fat little Shih Tzu. He's a pug Shih Tzu. He's a pug zoo. Oh, he's 10 years old. He's a stinky old dog, but I love him. He needs a haircut, and he's getting one as soon as all this weather hot chills out. I try to not cut him when the storm's going through when it's super cold because it will affect his respiratory system because they've got such short airways, and when they get chilled, everything gets chilled. So I'm waiting for a new snuffle bed to come in so that when I do cut him and get him naked and prepare him for his winter sweaters and stuff, that he will be in his snuffle bed and warm. And actually, he has one with a electric blanket. He's rotten. My animal's rotten. My animals are rotten. Will you just yell at me, Shenanigans, and we'll work it out after we get through this. After we get through this vendor sale. Okay, so I got that one done. I probably can do another one out of the leftover of this coyote and do a blonde reindeer. I just have to find the part of the coyote that I want to use, and I don't want to use the sides of the stomach. That's where the hair is the thinnest. I want to use the back, the hips, the side of the back, and the lines made on the back. So that means I may have to creatively augment what I use. Okay. There's no way this is just going to make a mess. I'm just going to have to deal with it. And it's just going to be what it is. Just going to be a mess. Sadly, it's just going to be a mess. And there's just no other way around it. I have to admit, with the storm in the background, this is kind of an ominous thing to be doing with the storm in the background. Oh my goodness, her. Oscar, leave the Christmas tree alone. I know you got a present, but you got to wait for Christmas. Y'all hear that rain? It's vicious. Don't you ask to go outside right now because you will get drained away. It looks like we've got one little storm coming straight through us right now. So if I get knocked offline, it's the weather. Y'all know, living in the sticks, how my electric is. It's a mess. I just made a huge hairy mess. Oh my God. I wish you could go get my little Swiffer rolly things, Oscar. Ugh. Okay. On the positive side, I did get enough to cover this. But they lost have mercy. What a mess. Thank God I have a Dyson. I bought my Dyson secondhand, but it was still under warranty. And thank God I have a Dyson. I'm certainly not sponsored, but that Dyson's the best thing I ever come across. Nothing is left behind with that Dyson. It is amazing. So now I'm just trying to find the best way to wrap this because it is an odd shape. And it's going to be a booger. I think I have a straight one. Let's see if I have this one. See how this will work. Coyote hair likes to have a lot of calyx in it. It likes to go a lot of different ways. And so it can create quite the little mohawk in many ways. And so you just have to kind of find the piece of wood that it wants to be wrapped by. And you can't rush it because it has to pick it. It is its own animal. And I just try to heed its warning. Okay, I think it's going to go like that. I think. I say. It may not. Who else is having really storms go through and nasty weather and lightning and thunder? It's quite an icky night here tonight. Windy, yeah. Well, if y'all get what's here, if it slides on up the mountains, it's going to be nasty for you. And I apologize in advance for sending it your way. It is ugly here right now. I mean, it's just ugly here right now. Let's see. I gotta cut that to match. I'm gonna be covered in hair by the end of this. That's just the way it's gonna go. I'm already covered in hair, so what's the point? Pin that under. They're saying maybe some tornadoes here after midnight, so I'm going to be on weather alert mode once David gets home so he can rest and I can watch the weather. Though, since the kids left the house, I don't really do anything when it's bad weather. I just sit and watch it. Used to, I'd pack them up and go to a friend's house and get in the basement. But, since I've got my kids through life, it's like, I'm going to sit here. The good Lord wants me. He can take me. I have turned into my granny. My granny would say that to me, and I'd be like, "Woman, you're crazy." But now that I'm older, I'm like, no, she's just done with it. She was done with that trying to outrun storms. So I have turned into my granny. In more ways than one, I guess. And my kids think I'm like crazy. Like, you used to be terrified of storms. I said, I was not terrified of storms. I was terrified that you all would get hurt in them. I said, there is very much a different thing. My brother was out hog hunting once and had to take refuge under a cliff with his hounds. And everybody else that he was hog hunting him with, they were like, why are you ducking under the hills? And he's like, do you not smell that tornado? And they thought he was crazy. And they're like, you're crazy. You can't smell a tornado. You're crazy. And he was like, there's a tornado. And he said, I'm going to sit here with my hounds until it passes. He said, because I ain't going to get me or my hounds killed. And sure enough, tornado cut right through the pass, right on the other side of the big mountain from him. And they thought my brother was like some kind of like John Wayne crazy, half wild man, smell a tornado full, And it's just from living in here and paying attention to the weather and paying attention to nature, and you can just kind of smell the rain when it comes. You can feel the rain before it gets here. You can absolutely smell a tornado. They smell like a dirty, earthy smell. And a lot of people don't know that, but it's something that's always been prominent to me that I could smell and sense. And I always got kind of bewildered when other people couldn't. But, yeah, they thought he was crazy that day. And nobody could leave the hunting lodge for 2 days because it took 2 days to cut all of the down trees off the main road so that the hunters could get out. It was a big hunting lodge. And it took like 2 days to cut the down trees off the road. You could literally walk on down trees for like 2 miles in the area where it went through. And that is the one, that is the one that took every window out of our house. But the only thing it truly did was take the metal latch off my barn door, my big barn. And I was like, that's strange. That's really strange. Because I expected for like my horses to be missing. And I mean, as soon as it passed, the sky was still green. I was running for the barn because I had a mare and foal. And I was like, oh God, she's freaked out and probably not having that baby. And I was running to that barn. And I got there and it was fine. And I thought, oh God, I'm going to walk around the other side of it and it's going to be like demolished. But it was fine, except for the metal latch on the very front door. And I was like, it was amazing. They have such power, but they're so finicky. I went trail riding the next week before they did a bunch of cleanup, and you could follow the path of the tornadoes. And we tied our horses, and you could walk on down trees that were as big as barrels, or if not twice as big as barrels. They hadn't logged back in there for, oh my gosh, years and years and years. And so you could walk on them. And we walked forever on downed trees and walked through the woods and eventually come back to the horses. But that was the strangest day, just to see paths of trees just laid down like pickup sticks. It was so strange. But it certainly makes you respect the strength of the storms, especially when they hit on top of the mountain here, because the mountain is its own living thing. That's the best way to describe it. The mountain is its own living thing. Hi, Stephanie. So we're just cooking away here. So I've used the rest of that coyote hide, and I've made this little blonde reindeer. So I'm going to give him some ears and give him a little haircut and put his nose and stuff on. But if you missed the first one that I made this little coyote out of the base of the coyote, so his tail's still attached. And so this is his little butt and hips that I turned into a little tiny coyote. It's real fur. My husband's a trapper and tanner. And then earlier today, I used beaver pelt to make Max to go along with my Grinch ornaments for the Grinch sale that we're going to this weekend. So here's Max with his antler strapped to his head, and he's got pink under his ears, and his little tail's up his back. So there's Max for the Grinch. Stephanie, it is blowing bad right now, and there may be some nasty storms coming up from the Nashville area here in probably the next hour. Yeah, probably about the next hour. If you can hear the wind, it's pretty rough, but I'm going to get this one done, and then I'm going to go check in with Dave and have him be super careful on his way home from work, because I do not want him swerving all over the road in his little tracker. Let's see. I'm going to make him have tan ears. But yeah, it looks like it may get a little rough, but normally it hits the mountain and it splits. So normally it hits the mountain and splits and we don't get too much of it. You're not going outside right now, Oscar. You will get blown away. I'm doing you a favor. If you knew the favor I was doing you, you'd say thank you, Mama. Yeah, I know. You don't know. If I open that door, you'll blow away. It's about on his bathroom time. Betty, it is rolling. We should have a little horseshoe opening here in the next little bit that I might be able to sneak him out. Maybe. Maybe. Let's see here. How am I going to do this? Let's do this first. But it is definitely kind of rough here. If anyone ever wants to know what the weather's doing in my house, you can go on Facebook and go to the Upper Cumberland Weather Radar, and you can kind of see what's going on in my neck of the world. He's a really nice guy that he does the Upper Cumberland and just barely gets into my area. But because we are so far away from the other satellites and the other radars, he normally has the best radar view for our area. So when we go to check on weather, we watch the Upper Cumberland Weather Radar. He's a really nice guy and really is fanatical about the weather. Like is his favorite thing to do. And he was actually monitoring the weather the night that Cookeville was demolished. And I mean, grown man crying. That was a sad night. It was a very sad night in Tennessee that night. I forget how many that were lost. I think somewhere around 20. And the youngest was like 4 or 5. And it was just a sad night. Now, I don't like the way the back of the ears look, so I'm going to cut strips of fur to cover the ears where they join in, just because I'm picky and I want it to look pretty. And I have the ability to do that with all of this coyote that I have. So I'm cutting the edge of all the rawhide off now, and I'm just going to put a backing on these ears. So I just got a little piece like this. I'm going to use this backing on the ears so the back of the felt doesn't show as much. So it looks like it blends in a little bit easier to the ear itself. And then I don't like putting some glue around the edge and kind of mash it in different directions so it adheres everywhere. So now let me do that again for the other side. I've just made a big pile of hair though, and boy, when I clean my kitchen, let me tell you what, I have to go like completely type A Mr. Clean bleach. Oh my God. Clean this kitchen because it's a mess. But it's just part of it until I get everything back in my craft room. This is just where I have to be for the moment. So we're just trying to make it work for a little while until I can get back into my craft room, which I'm getting there. We have moved a bunch of stuff back in and putting up the kind of the backdrop, which will be taxidermy and my favorite mink. And Kim has made us signs for Hillbilly Fur and for Hillbilly Heart. And they will be behind us on the wall as our backdrop. So we do have quite a bit moved in, and I've gotten some of the boxes out. David had been using it as basically a packaging shipping kind of catch-all, and so I've got a lot of that cleaned out. So it's just kind of get everything else broke down and then get all my cubbies organized, and I'll be able to be back in there, and it will be a much better room for lives. Well, just for everything, honestly. He's almost done. So I'm going to put his nose and eyes on, and he will be finished. Make sure I get the right nose for him. And make sure I get these eyeballs. Okay, let's see where his nose placement wants to be. You want to have a long face? Really? You don't want a long face. I think it needs to go right there. Okay, I think I found a spot for his nose. Now I'm wanting to do the rag quilt tree and the rag cut tree where we just cut strips of quilt fabrics and we tie them around a straightened coat hanger that is anchored into a base. I'm going to use wood rounds that David has cut for me, but you can use florist frog, styrofoam, candle wax, anything that will hold up it's hot glue itself, anything that will hold up your, oh gosh, I got that everywhere. Anything that will hold up your clothes hanger or your wire that you're going to use. And then it's just about tying the strips of fabric up the clothes hanger and making sure that you use all the varying lengths. And you can trim when you get done too. You make them longer at the bottom and shorter at the top, but you can trim when you get done and shape it up. And you can make the prettiest Christmas tree as big or as small as you want to. I'm going to try to make one that's about 14 inches tall. That's my goal. That's what I want to do. Put his bangs down. He has little swirly bangs down. Okay, so now he has his nose and eyes, and I'll give him a little tail, and he's a little caribou reindeer ready to go hop on Santa's sleigh. So now the ones that turn out like I think are gorgeous, I put a decent price on them to cover the fur because it's normally they're gorgeous because they have the nicer piece of fur on them. The ones that I think aren't as cute, I do take a couple bucks off and try to give what I think is a fair price for the quality of the fur and the quality of the animal I've made. So this guy will probably be 15, and the others kind of go between 20 and 25. And if David, we have like badger or really odd fur, then David will make those somewhat more expensive depending on how easily it is to acquire the fur and how much of the fur goes on there. But since these are just our local coyotes, and I'm just trying to make some different color options for customers, these will just have our normal price points. And when they actually said that they were wanting people to make Grinch items for their booths for this Grinch themed Christmas thing, it kind of irritated me because I was like, oh God, no, I'm busy. But I actually have enjoyed making the Grinch ornaments and the Max dog. So I'm actually really thankful that I was kind of pushed out of my comfort zone to create those. So, okay, here he is. He's going to have to be kind of fluffed, brushed, and trimmed a little bit for the next couple of days, too. I'll let him sit and his hair kind of come to life, and then I'll take the extra out and fluff him and give him a little bit of a salon day, and he'll be ready to roll. So I've made 2 more sitting here, and that's pretty good. I'm going to call it stopping for the night because the weather's really starting to amp up outside. I'm going to let Oscar get outside and potty, and I'm going to check in with Dave. But wherever y'all are, watch the weather, be safe. It is definitely a howler here tonight, and tomorrow night come back. I may be on in the morning again, but tomorrow night come back and we'll do some more crafts because today is just finish week for me. Oh, somebody get the dating bot out of here if you don't care. But this is just all about finishing up projects and getting everything ready to be packed into the Jeep and to head down to the show. So I'm almost there, and I think I've got quite a bit of stuff done that is going to be very odd and not like any of the other booths. So I'm hoping that we have a good day Saturday. Now, Lane will be going back with David Sunday. I will not be because my body can't do 2 days at all. But I will be there Saturday. So, depending on how I have internet and how my battery life on my phone goes, I will check in and kind of give you some updates through the day and let you know how everything's going. So join me again tomorrow. Just watch. You'll see me go live. I may do it again in the morning and the afternoon. I've got a jewelry day coming up either tomorrow night. I was going to do it tonight, but the weather is so bad it makes my hands hurt, and I need my hands to work if I'm going to be working with jewelry because I've got to wire wrap. So probably tomorrow we will be making some of those raccoon baculum earrings. So if you've never seen that, you can come tomorrow and we'll do that. And then I'm going to try to also finish these guys up and do a couple of spirit ceremonial sticks and get all of that out of the way. So watch the weather, say your prayers, and I'll check in with you tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for spending time with me. I'm going to let Oscar potty, and I'm going to hit the hay and watch the weather. Love yous. Bye.